Hi my lovelies, welcome to this tutorial. This tutorial is probably one of my favorite looks I've ever done. It's a nice halo eye and it's just a dark lip. It's gorgeous. As you can see, I have my dog and my cat in my background. I'm going to first start out with the Too Faced Hangover X primer. I'm going to put that all over my face. This primer smells so delicious. I love it, and it's just so hydrating for the face, and it's got glycerin in it, so it helps it stick to your makeup stick better to your face. It's amazing. I have my baby skin primer from Maybelline as well, and I'm just going to put that in my pore areas, which is going to be my nose, the around above my smile lines, like my apples of my cheeks, I guess you could say. It's not that high, but I just put it all over that area. And then I'm also going to put it on my chin and on my forehead, pretty much everywhere on my forehead, because my forehead has blended in. I'm going to take my two favorite foundations right now, which is going to be the Urban Decay All Nighter Foundation in 1.0 and my Too Faced Be the Born This Way Foundation in Natural Beige. I'm going to make a little cocktail on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to dot that all over the face and use my Real Techniques blending sponge to blend all of that in. The reason why I'm mixing these foundations is because one is super pale and it's way too white on my face. I was actually matched wrong in Sephora, so one's too pale and one's too dark. So I'm hoping to get like the perfect combination in the middle. I'm literally going to take like 15 minutes, not really 15 minutes in the video because I edited out most of it, but I take like 10-15 minutes to blend this all around my face, which is really sad, but I have to make sure that everything is blended and seamless. And I also cover up a lot of the pigmentation on my lips and my eyelids. I have very veiny eyelids, so I like to cover that up a little bit with much. And then I'm going to go down the neck, a little bit on the chest, and making sure everything is blended out and nice. And all the excess, I hope, is in the sponge right now because I put a lot on my face. I'm going to take my Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer and my NARS Radiant Concealer, and I'm just going to use both of them. The Naked Skin Concealer is in Light Warm, and the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer is in Chantilly. Chantilly is the lightest that they have. It is light 1, so it is really white. And right now I'm just going to use my Naked Skin Concealer, which has a very yellow base, and I love it. And I'm using that on the outer perimeters that I highlight, and then I'm going to use Chantilly on the inner perimeters to kind of mix them together. And as you can tell, I'm running out of my Naked Skin Concealer, and it's making me so sad because it's one of my favorite concealers. It is so hydrating on the eyes, and it just blends out so well. I'm also going to use my concealer to conceal my lids again. And I'm just going to take my Real Techniques blending sponge and blend that all out again and again. I'm going to take forever. So I use my concealers to do that just because it covers a lot more than an eye primer would. Plus, when I set it with powder, it just kind of helps all of my makeup stay one color, because I don't like my eyelids being a different color than the rest of my face, because then I just feel like it looks weird, even though it has eyeshadow on it. So that is why I do that. Now I'm just going to make sure that everything is all blended out, all the creases are out. I will do this a second time because I'm just a perfectionist at everything that I do, and it makes me upset a lot of the times. So I'm just going to make sure everything's blended out. I'm going to take my Coty Airspun powder, blend it out again to make sure that there's no creases, and then I'm going to set my under eyes. I'm not baking, I'm just taking a little bit of powder and just making sure that everything is set. If I bake, it's just too dry, and it just makes everything a crepey mess. I'm also going to do it around my nose because I get a little oily in that area, and my foundation always separates. I'm going to make sure that my eyelids are also blended before I put powder on them to make sure that there's no creasing, so I don't powder over creases, and set those into place. And yes, the Coty Airspun powder is actually, I like it, but when I go there, I don't ever find the translucent. So that one's in Honey Beige. And I'm going to take my translucent powder with the Rimmel Stay Matte powder, and I'm going to take my Real Techniques powder brush and just set the rest of my face with it. I don't swipe when I set my face. I pat into it, because if I swipe, I'm going to take off all the foundation that I just put on, and it's just going to look streaky. Now I'm going to take my Morphe 350 palette. I'm going to start on the eyes, and I'm going to take that really light orangey color and the other orangey color that's a shade away from it. And I'm going to take my E27 brush, I believe, and from Morphe, and I'm just going to put that in my crease as my transition color for all the brighter colors that we're going to do. The reason why I went in with an orangey shade is because we're going to be using red tones. pinky and red tones, and the orange is just a way to kind of keep everything the same color. Now we're going to take that brighter orange and my Morphe M441, and I'm going to put that in the, we're going to start our halo eye by putting that through the crease as well, and then also putting in a lot of the color on the outer and inner corners, and just doing windshield wiper motions and circular motions in the parts where we want the most product. And just we're going to blend everything together to make sure everything is seamless. We don't want any harsh lines like always. And yes. Now I'm going to take my Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm going to use Real Gur and Red Ochre, and we're just going to put that in the same place we just put that orange shade from the Morphe the 350 palette, I cannot speak. Same M441 brush, and we're just going to put that in the same color, in the same places to help darken it just a little bit to get ready for the pinks that we're going to put in later. Now I'm going to take this e.l.f. Pencil brush. We're going to take Love Letter, and we're just going to put that all, we're going to pack that on the outer corner and on the inner corner as well, but we're going to make sure that a lot of the product is going to, we're not going to put it all the way over the lid because the lid is going to be covered by a different shade. But right now we're just going to pack that on the outer corner into somewhat of like a V type C shape, I guess you could say. But really I'm just packing that, bringing it a little bit into the crease, and packing that on the inner corner to make sure that it's going to be nice and bright. Now we're going to take that M441 brush again by Morphe, and we're just going to blend that out together and just make sure that nothing is harsh, like always. I say blending probably 20 times, no, more than that in this video, so I apologize. But again, we're going to blend everything together and make sure that everything goes through the crease. Now we're going to take Love Letter and Cypress Umber, and we're going to pack that on the very outer corners to make sure that we're not covering the pink, but then again we are covering the outer edge of the pink to make sure that dark goes to light in whatever order we do. And now we're going to take Warm Taupe and that E27 brush and just blend everything together because it's just a super fluffy brush, and that light color is just, it's not going to add much color to the lid, it's just going to help blend everything out. So all the oranges and the reds that we put on are going to be blown out a lot more with this color. Now we're going to take whatever's left on that pencil brush, we're going to take and we're going to put it on the underneath of our eyes. Now it doesn't matter how we do this because we're still going to be putting that, whatever color we're putting on our lid is going to be going on the under eyes. I tried at first to just skip that whole middle section, but I ended up just putting it everywhere and just blending it all out. I'm sorry for the facial expressions that I use because I'm very ugly in this stage. Now we're going to take this gorgeous Buxom single eyeshadow in No Faux. It is such a pretty color. It's green and red and brown and just purpley reflex, and I'm going to use my ring finger to pack that onto the lid. And I'm also going to swipe that in the lower portion of my lid. But I'm going to put the most product on the middle of my lid and then blend everything out on the edges with my finger. Just making sure everything is just bright. And it goes so well with these red tones. I'm in love with this look for that reason. It's so gorgeous. Now I'm going to take my BH Cosmetics bronzing brush and my Hoola Benefit bronzer, and I'm going to bronze up the cheeks. I'm going to go all the way back to the ear, starting from the ear. I'm not going to go all the way to the corner of the mouth just because it looks a little crazy. I'm going to do my forehead and also along my jawline because I have a pretty square face, so like my jawline, when I do that, it just makes it softer, I guess you could say. I'm going to pack it on the outer portions and then blend it in to make it a little bit darker. I don't go for super orange bronzers because they look a little weird on my face. I'm going to take that brush that comes with the Hoola bronzer and I'm going to contour my nose, but then I'm not really making my nose any smaller because I already have a skinny nose, so I'm just making it stand out a little bit more. I'm going to take the contour brush by BH Cosmetics and my Wet n Wild bronzer palette, contour palette, Dulce de Leche. And I'm just going to further contour the face. It's a little bit darker and a little bit more ashy, so it works for my face especially. And I'm just going to blend them together. Now I'm going to bake underneath my contour with the same Coty Airspun powder, and I'm going to go from the lips all the way to the back of the ear just to make sure everything is all super sharp. And as you see, one side is going to be higher than the other, so I have to go back and fix that. But yes, I do enjoy doing this because it does make a super sharp contour, and I actually really like that look. I'm going to brush that off. You don't see that. But then I'm going to take my Jacqueline Becca face palette. I'm going to use Pamplemousse blush with the same contour brush that we used. And I'm going to definitely pat off everything because I don't want too much blush on my face. Now we're going to take my M4... Don't even remember. It's the highlighting brush from the M collection from Morphe, and I'm going to take Champagne Pop, and I'm going to put that all over my cheeks. I'm going to put it a little bit on my chin. I'm going to go a little bit above the brow. I'm going to do my Cupid's bow, and also I'm going to highlight my nose, but I'm going to do that with my finger. Jaclyn Hill's Champagne Pop is one of the best highlighters and the best highlighter formulas that I've ever tried. I'm so happy for her with this collection. Now I'm going to take Laura Geller Gilded Honey and just get a little bit more highlight because I love to glow. And I'm also going to bring that a little bit on the apples of my cheeks to kind of, so when I'm looking straight at somebody, they can see that I have a nice glow to my face. And I'm just going to go in circular motions to help blend everything out so I don't just have a streak of highlight. And I'm going to put that in the same places with the other highlighter that we used. I'm going to take that pencil brush that we used earlier, make sure it's clean, and use that as the Gilded Honey as my inner corner and brow highlight. Now I'm going to take my Anastasia Beverly Brow Wiz in medium brown, and I'm going to do my eyebrows. I just put a line underneath my brows, feather it up to the top, do a line on the top, fill in the tail. I have a bald spot on both of my tails of my eyebrows that I have to fill in a little bit to kind of help round it out because it kind of dips in a little bit. So I'm just going to further do that. And then I'm going to feather in the front. And then I'm going to take the spoolie on the other side and I'm going to brush that product through so it disperses and there's no like clumps. But I'm going to do that with the other brow as well. One brow is always easier than the other, and I don't understand why, but brows are always the hardest for me. Like, forget liquid lipsticks, trying to get those straight. Like, brows are the hardest for me, always. Now I'm going to take my Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and I'm just going to coat my eyelashes a few times, bottom and top. I'm not going to use falsies in this look because I need new false lashes. My other ones are just extremely overused, and I want to get some new ones anyways, so we're just going to go with mascara. Plus, I was going to work after this, and I didn't want to add false lashes to make everything just way too dramatic. They would not like it. Too much makeup is not okay there. They want me to wear makeup, but it's not okay to wear false lashes. I'm sorry, but it's really saddening sometimes. Now I'm going to take this NYX lip liner in mauve. It's either mauve or natural, I can't remember, and I'm going to line my lips. I don't do anything to my bottom lip to overline, but on my top lip, I have to even them out. My lips kind of curve in on one side, but they don't do it on the other, so I kind of have to round it out a bit. It's not too complicated, but I don't make them any plumper. I just do the way that they are. Now I'm going to take this Metal Matte, or I have no idea what it's called. It's just the liquid lipstick from Too Faced in Evil Twin. This is the most gorgeous color I will ever find from that collection. It is so dark, so purple. It's just a beautiful dark lip. It is my favorite fall vamp lip. It's just gorgeous. And I'm just going to fill in my lips with it. Not overlining, just making sure my lines are straight. This lipstick speaks to me on so many levels. It is my favorite liquid lipstick, most likely. I wear it all the time, so it is definitely one of my favorites. And then I'm going to set my face with the NYX Dewy Setting Spray. And I'm done. You guys have a great day. I love you. Subscribe. Bye.